William Morrow and HarperAudio present The Girl from Devil's Lake, a Brady novel of suspense by J.A. Jance, performed by Hillary Huber. For Jane Decker and Becky Federico, who provided invaluable help when I needed it. Prologue. Fertile, Minnesota, 1956. The Voices had been with Steve for as long as he could remember. They had been friendly at first. When he was a little kid, living with his divorced mother in a mobile home behind his grandfather's house on a farm in Minnesota, the Voices would tell him stories when it was time for him to take a nap or go to bed, and they'd still be there talking to him when he woke up. His mother worked as a waitress at the little cafe in town. She'd be gone in the morning before Steve got out of bed, and she didn't come home until almost supper time. So most of the time, he was stuck with his grandmother. In the fairy tale books Steve's mother read to him at bedtime, Cinderella had an evil stepmother, and so did Snow White. As for Stevie Roper, he had an evil step-grandmother. His mother's real mother, Grandma Joni, as Gramps called her, had died of breast cancer while his mom was still in grade school. Grandma Lucille, as Steve was taught to call her, was Gramps' second wife. Steve's mother, Cynthia, and his father, Jackson Roper, had been high school sweethearts. When they learned they were pregnant, they married without either one of them graduating from high school. Grandma Lucille had despised Jackson the first time she saw him, and the fact that Cindy and Jackson had to get married hadn't improved her opinion. Jackson had proved her right by running off with another woman when Steve was less than a year old. At that point, Grandma Lucille had hit the roof, but Gramps had sprung into action. He had purchased a used mobile home and moved it to a pad on his farm, so his daughter and fatherless grandson would have a place to live. Gramps was a good man. He took Steve in hand. He taught the boy how to drive a tractor and how to fish for bullheads in the small lake on his property. He taught him how to carve and how to build things with tinker toys and Lincoln logs and how to fly a kite. And although Steve's father never paid a dime's worth of child support, Gramps never said a mean word about him. Grandma Lucille, on the other hand, had plenty to say about Jackson Roper and about Steve, too. As far as she was concerned, Jackson was a no-good, worthless punk. She was forever telling Steve that he was the devil's spawn. If Spawn were baby fish, did that mean Steve's dad was also the devil? Most of the other kids had mothers and grandmothers who wore house dresses, or maybe capris, not Grandma Lucille. Except for church on Sunday, which she never missed, she wore Oshkosh overalls and a pair of lace-up boots. That's what she wore at home, and that's what she wore to the post office or grocery store. Kids at school, mostly the boys, teased Steve, saying that his grandmother wore GI boots. Unfortunately, it was undeniably true. Grandma Lucille was old school. She believed that children in general, and Steve in particular, should be seen but not heard. Nor did she subscribe to sparing the rod and spoiling the child. In that regard, she preferred using a fly swatter rather than a rod, and she told him more than once that if he didn't behave himself, she was going to snap his head right off. Steve believed Grandma Lucille on that score. She raised chickens, not only for the eggs, but also for food. She could snap a rooster's neck and chop his head off in the blink of an eye. What all that really meant was that whatever time Steve had to spend with her, from when the school bus dropped him off until his mother got home, was absolute hell. But then, as soon as Gramps came in or his mother got home, Grandma Lucille did a complete about-face. The mean looks and disparaging words vanished, and suddenly she was nothing but sweetness and light. But all along, Steve's voices kept talking. They told him stories about a magic owl named Hoot.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?